The wind that afternoon carried an unsettling silence through the outskirts of the small town, the kind of silence that often comes before something frightening. 16-year-old Emily Turner felt that heaviness in her chest as she walked home from school, her backpack hanging loosely from one shoulder, her heart beating faster with every step. She had sensed the motorcycles before she even heard them, a low vibration crawling up the pavement and settling around her feet. It was the same group of bikers she had prayed not to see again, the ones who had followed her twice before, yelling things that made her want to disappear. This time, as the engines grew louder, she felt her fists tighten around her backpack straps. She was alone on the road, but she wasn't truly alone. A few steps behind her walked Max, her trained police dog, a German shepherd with sharp instincts and a loyalty that never wavered. Emily felt her fear rise, but she also felt a strange sense of hope because Max was there, watching everything. The bikers turned the corner with a screech of tires, slowing down as they approached her. Strength drained from her legs as they circled around, their laughter echoing through the empty street. They were older teens, some probably 20, wearing leather jackets with patches Emily didn't recognize. Their faces carried the same cruel smirks she remembered, the same cold eyes that had made her feel small. She tried to stay calm, reminding herself to keep walking, but they blocked her way, and she knew there was no escaping the moment she had feared all week. Her breath trembled as she stepped back, Max stepping in front of her protectively. Everything about him changed. His posture stiffened, his ears rose, and his eyes locked on the bikers. He didn't bark yet. He didn't lunge, he simply watched them like he already knew what they were planning to do. Before the moment escalated, the screen fills with tension. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and courage, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Heartwarming Kindness. Your support helps stories like this reach more people. Emily felt her heartbeat pounding like thunder in her ears when one biker leaned forward, his boots scraping the ground as he kicked at the dirt and taunted her with mocking words meant to break her spirit. They laughed, circling her slowly like they enjoyed her fear. One biker flicked her backpack, another revved his engine right beside her feet, making her flinch. Emily looked around desperately, but there was no one else in sight. Just the empty road, the fading daylight, and the group of bikers closing in on her. She felt herself shrinking under the pressure, the world tightening around her like a trap. Max growled low, a sound that rumbled like a warning boiling deep inside him. The bikers ignored it. One moved closer, pointing at Emily, challenging her to react. She felt her throat burn with fear, her hands trembling, but she remembered something her father had taught her. Hidden in her sleeve was a gesture only Max understood. A silent signal used in police work, a command that required no words. Her father, a retired K-9 officer, had taught her that signal for emergencies, for danger, for moments when someone needed help but couldn't call for it. She had never used it before. Today, she did. Her fingers moved subtly, almost invisibly. Max saw it, and everything changed. Max's training took over like a switch had been flipped inside him. His growl deepened, turning sharp, and for a moment even the bikers felt something shift in the air. They froze as the German shepherd stepped forward, positioning himself squarely between Emily and the group. His body lowered, muscles tensed, eyes locked with an authority that could not be ignored. He barked once, loud enough to echo across the open road, startling the bikers. It wasn't a bark of fear or surprise. It was a bark of command, a bark that communicated he was done warning them. The bikers laughed nervously, brushing off the unease, but Max was no ordinary dog. He moved with precision, pushing Emily backward with his body, keeping her shielded. When one biker lunged forward jokingly, Max charged 3 steps in a flash, stopping just inches away, teeth bared in a controlled display of power. The biker stumbled back, tripping over his own feet, fear finally cracking through his tough exterior. They tried to regain their confidence, revving their engines, yelling louder, trying to intimidate both Emily and Max. But Max stood unmoving, barking again, sharper, more threatening. His voice carried authority, the type of sound that made even grown men step back. Emily's heart pounded, but for the first time, her fear was mixed with a rising sense of strength. Max wasn't just defending her. He was reminding her she wasn't powerless. She watched him, feeling her courage returning like a flame being rekindled. But the bikers weren't done. One of them stepped off his motorcycle and reached forward as if to grab Emily's arm. That was the final mistake. Max lunged with precision, not to attack, but to intercept. He positioned himself so quickly and so forcefully that the biker had no choice but to stop mid-reach. The shock on the biker's face was unmistakable. Max's teeth were visible but restrained, his bark so loud it echoed through the fields nearby. The biker froze, realizing this dog was trained, disciplined, and more than capable of protecting the girl he was threatening. The biker stumbled back, shaking his head as if trying to hide his fear, but his trembling hands exposed the truth. Before things spiraled further, another sound cut through the tension. A police siren in the distance. The bikers exchanged panicked glances. Someone must have heard the commotion and called for help. The siren grew louder, and the bikers, realizing they were moments away from being caught, scrambled onto their motorcycles. Max stood tall, barking as they sped off, desperate to escape the consequences of their actions. The siren drew closer until a patrol car stopped at the end of the road. Officer Daniels stepped out, looking at Emily and Max with a mixture of concern and astonishment. Emily explained what happened, her voice shaky but steady enough to recount the truth. Officer Daniels listened carefully, taking notes, his face hardening with each detail. More units arrived, and soon the bikers were tracked down and taken into custody. Emily watched from a distance, her breath slowly steadying as the weight of the moment lifted off her shoulders. When the officers returned to check on her, they praised Max, calling him one of the most disciplined and well-trained police dogs they had ever seen outside active service. Emily couldn't help but smile through her lingering tears. Max stood beside her, calm again, tail low, watching her with the gentle eyes of a protector who had done what needed to be done. As the sun lowered into the horizon, Emily felt a sense of peace settle in her chest. She had faced fear she never wanted to experience again, but she had also learned something important about herself, her strength, her courage, and the bond she shared with Max. That bond had saved her. And it changed everything. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps bring inspiring stories to more people around the world. Before you go, comment down below and tell us what moment moved you the most in this story.